As usual, I'm going to be doing Bitcoin, BTC, USD, and I'm going to be going over all the time frames. So I'm just going to jump into it straight away, and I'm going to start with the monthly candles as usual. And here in this time frame, we can see this this big triangle that finally broke down after several months. But within this big triangle, we have a small little triangle here. I think I pointed out on my previous week's analysis, and it finally broke down, and the target for this triangle is 3,500 more or less. So let's see if it will make the target. I think it will. Another thing to point out here, which I commented many times before as well, but I'm just going to repeat it very quick, is that I think there's a big chance that the bottom will be held by the 50-month moving average, just like it happened in the previous bear market here. So it'll be around 3,000, 3,500. The target for this triangle is 3.5, so maybe it'll, overperform a little bit more in the downside. And I'm expecting, I'm not calling bottoms here, but I think we will eventually get to the 50-month moving average here. Also, the volume on a monthly scale is still not crazy. It's only starting to increase here. So if we compare this to the previous bear market, we'd be somewhere here in the first breakdown, in the first significant breakdown and first capitulation. So I think based on volume, we're going to be able to see it a little bit better in the next time frame on the weekly candles. But it seems very much we are only starting to break down right now. The RSI, it's gone oversold for quite some time, but you know, guys, how long it can go oversold here before starting the next bull run, just like it goes overbought for several months or even years here before entering another multi-year bear market. So I think we're somewhere here. If I compare to the previous bubble in 2014, we'll see. So yeah, as I was saying, in this a little bit smaller time frame, we can take a look at the volume, more like zooming in. It's a little bit more specific. So we can see here, it's just only went, the volume just went only slightly above the average volume. The average volume is this orange line that goes through the volume bars here, and it accounts for the average volume for the past 20 bars, in this case 20 weeks, because these are the weekly candles. So it just went slightly above the average here. So it would be like in this part of the previous bear market here. It's, to me, this signals a breakout or breakdown in this case, because it's breaking down, but this is only like the triggering volume for what's coming next. So I think the capitulation has only started, and I think we need to see much higher volume here before calling bottoms. So again, the target for the small triangle is at 3.5, and then we have here right below the target the 200 week moving average, which is around 3,000, a little bit higher, like 3,200, something like that, which is around the same level with the 50-month moving average, which is what I think is going to hold bottom like the last time. And here you can see, guys, as well, the bottom was held by the 200-week moving average, which was at the same level with the 50-month moving average. So waiting for that. Of course, it doesn't have to happen, it doesn't have to do it all straight in one candle or two. I would expect some retracement, because basically we've gone down $2,000 in 2 days. So I would expect some retracement and some resistances to be tested, like what was support before. It should be retested as a resistance before the actual breakout. If you pay attention here in the previous bear market, when we had the lowest volume during the whole bear market was right here where I have the finger right now, and it was here, super low volume, super low volatility, and then boom, this little breakdown, which was a triggering event for what was coming after. And I think that's what we've seen here. Super low volatility, super low volume. I think this was the point of lowest volume and lowest volatility of the entire bear market. And from here, I think the volume is going to start to spike and the capitulation is going to start. But what I was going to show is that pay attention, because we had this breakdown here, the first little spike of volume going above average finally, and then after that we had several weeks going sideways here. So exactly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, so 1 month and a half stuck here again with super low volatility and low volume again before the actual boom capitulation happened here. So I wouldn't be surprised this goes sideways here for another whatever, month or two, or maybe bounce, because the breakdown was like very intense. So I would expect either a bounce at some point soon, or few weeks of sideways movement before the actual capitulation. But yeah, in general, I expect a lot more volume before calling bottoms here, before calling actual capitulation. But we're getting closer. So on the daily charts, I expect here to be entering a choppy area. So actually what I just said for the previous time frame applies perfectly here as well. I said I'm expecting either a bounce here or just sideways movement for quite some time until the next breakdown, because if you see here, this was a choppy area here. So I would expect the same to happen, around this level. I would expect this area to be, a little bit defended, because there's a lot of, choppy here between, support and resistance, all this area here actually, down to the target. So yeah, I would expect here choppy area. We bounced exactly at this previous peak here. If you see, we had this strong resistance. It rejected the price down, and then it took a while until we actually broke the previous all-time high. So yeah, this is like a choppy area, and I would expect this to be choppy area here as well, like sideways bounces, like difficult to trade actually. But targets are targets. The 3,500 is a target from a trading pattern, which is this triangle. Targets are made more often than not, so I expect the target to be made eventually. But as I said, of course, after such a vertical and violent movement, you have to expect some either bounce or consolidation for quite some time here before capitulation continues. On the 4 hours, guys, we are really extended in the downside. I mean, this has been a very violent breakdown. So it's just really vertical and really fast, and really deep. So I mean, if you want to trade, these smaller time frames, probably the 4 hours would be ideal, because smaller than that, the volatility is going to be too crazy and stop losses are going to be hit all the time. But I guess in the 4 hours you could. Obviously, the bet right now is betting to the short side, because we are, in the middle of a breakdown and in the middle of a capitulation, in my view. So of course not now after such vertical move, but I would be waiting for either this bounce and touch moving averages, or if it doesn't bounce, if it just goes sideways here, I would be waiting for moving averages to catch up. And as soon as moving averages touch price, I would expect the price to reject and continue down, and that would be like a shorting opportunity. But right now, as of today, after such vertical move down, it's obviously not safe to short like right now. Right now, it's like you gotta wait for the price to touch moving averages, or for the price to go sideways for quite some time now, until entering the next short. I don't think this was the bottom. This is not typically how markets bottom. Ideally you would like to see a V shape, but we had initially a V shape here. So this level at 4,300 more or less on bit stamp was defended, but it ended up making a new low here. So it just gave it all back. So this is not a V-shape bottom, so I doubt this is the bottom. I think we're going lower. But yeah, as I said, for trading smaller time frames, you need to wait for the price to give you a signal to enter short. And right now you don't have a signal. The price is too extended from moving averages right now, and it's gone down too much to continue to enter short, unless you're short already from the $6,000 breakdown. On the 1 hour, guys, this is just super weak. I mean, it's very, very weak. It touched here 4,200, it bounced, but it got rejected at the 20 period moving average. It didn't even make it to the 50 period moving average or higher than that. I was expecting 6,000 to be retested before making target at 3,500. It hasn't happened yet. I mean, it's not impossible, but as it looks right now, guys, volume going down again. I think sideways here until the next breakdown. It's looking very, very weak, guys, very weak, because it dropped basically $2,000 in 2 days, and it didn't even retrace back up like any significant amount. So it's showing a lot of weakness, a lot of selling pressure here, guys. And yeah, again, if you want to trade the smaller time frames, I would try for the 4 hours personally, although I'm not trading this at this stage. I'm only waiting for, you know, for capitulation to finish, and then I'm going to be looking to buy. At this point, I'm not shorting anymore. I mean, I haven't been shorting for a long time or trading at all, actually. So at this stage, I'm just waiting for capitulation. I would love to catch the bottom, but if I cannot catch the bottom, then I don't mind entering, you know, when it's consolidation accumulation phase. So, you know, I don't need to catch the perfect bottom. I'm waiting for confirmations. Of course, I'll try, and I'm going to continue to update. Maybe 3.5 will be the bottom, but it all depends how we get there. So I'm going to have to continue to update on that. And yeah, as I said, if I cannot catch the bottom, then I don't mind. I'll wait for confirmations of the bear market being over, or even beginning of the bull market, you know, even if that's waiting until 2020 or whenever that is. But yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. So another thing I wanted to comment for this video, just to finish it, is about the altcoins. If it's going to be altcoin season soon. And I think it could be, but of course not like the previous altcoin season when everything goes up like crazy. I think there's gonna be a reversal between Bitcoin market cap and altcoins market cap. In other words, Bitcoin dominance. I think Bitcoin dominance is gonna start to go sideways, and the next move is gonna be down for Bitcoin dominance. This doesn't mean that altcoins are going to start pumping like crazy. This means that altcoins might have bottomed already, or they're gonna find bottom earlier than BTC. After this capitulation, I think altcoins could start to go sideways when Bitcoin still needs to continue to go down more. And I'm saying this because I made this mistake in the previous bull market here. This was starting in January 2017, so at the very beginning of 2017. This is the chart. The blue line is the market cap for altcoins only, not BTC, and the orange line is BTC market cap only, not altcoin. So you can see here from the beginning of 2017 up until June 2017, the altcoins went up 3,000%, more than 3,000%, as you can see here. While BTC from the exact same dates up until the exact same date, it went up only 200, 300%. So it's a huge difference. You know, between 300% and 3,000%, it's a big difference. What happened after that? I remember when BTC topped at 3,000 and it started, you know, it went into a short-term bear market within the macro bull markets. At that time, as I said, altcoins had gone up through more than 3,000%. So I thought, well, this is not sustainable. Altcoins have topped, and actually altcoins started to crash really, really badly. So I thought, well, this is all part of the same industry. So if altcoins go into a, you know, a heavy correction or bear market, Bitcoin will too, just because it's all part of the same industry. That was my thought process, but it didn't happen that way. Altcoins went up a lot before Bitcoin, and then altcoins corrected a lot when Bitcoin went like slightly down, but sideways mostly. And then Bitcoin catched up with altcoins. What I mean with this is that yes, it's all part of the same industry, but the money moves from one sector to the other one, from BTC to altcoins and the other way around. So when altcoins go up significantly more than BTC, then they need to correct more than BTC as well. And while in a bull market, BTC will be, going up and altcoins can just be going sideways, I would expect the same but reverse in a bear market. So what I mean because altcoins have crashed way more than BTC during this bull market, during this bear market since the beginning of 2018. Altcoins have gone down around 90% when BTC went down like 75%, more or less as of today. So I think they're going to start to balance now. And I think Bitcoin dominance is going to stay at 50%. I have been saying this for like months and months and months. When Bitcoin dominance was like 30% and we entered the bear market, I said Bitcoin dominance is going to top at 50% at the most. And then I got killed on YouTube as usual because it went a little bit higher. It went to 53% or 54% or whatever. So people were like, you have no idea and all that. But it stayed there at the 50% level. And I think that's the top for Bitcoin dominance. So I expect altcoin season, but altcoin season in a bear market, not in a bull market, which means altcoin sideways when it comes to dollar value, and Bitcoin to continue to go down. Now, I think this is my primary option. I think this is the most likely thing. But if I'm wrong in this one, I'm going to be wrong like 100% because let me show you this. This is the dominance chart for BTC. And right now it says here around 53%. This is the whole history. It starts here from the year 2013, mid 2013. That's all the history we have for the Bitcoin dominance. So, anyways, right now we are forming a bull flag. So, looking at what the market cap for altcoins compared to the Bitcoin, I think Bitcoin is in the high end already when it comes to dominance. I think altcoins bleed down enough now to start going sideways. Well, Bitcoin we didn't see real blood in the street for Bitcoin yet. So I see that when I compare both market caps. But if I look only at the chart of Bitcoin dominance, we can see a clear bull flag forming here. So if this breaks bullish according to the pattern, Bitcoin dominance could actually go up to 75%. So it's not out of the picture. I'm gonna be watching this bear flag here on the Bitcoin dominance chart, and if it breaks bullish, then it means the market cap for altcoins might bleed a lot more. So I'm watching this, but I think this pattern is not going to break in the bullish side as the most probable scenario. As I said, no one really knows, but I think this will actually start to go sideways here. Bitcoin is going to stay at 50% dominance and eventually start to go down again when everything bottoms. So yeah, and also if you look at the market cap chart here for altcoins compared to the Bitcoin one, we can see in the previous bear market, altcoins, which is the blue line, bottomed a lot earlier than BTC. So altcoins bottomed here, while BTC was only in the first breakdown, like the breakdown that we are seeing right now. So this was the last breakdown for altcoins. This was the final capitulation for altcoins, as you can see here. And it was only the start of capitulation for Bitcoin. So, that's how I see it. If altcoins capitulate heavier than Bitcoin in the next few days or weeks, I mean, soon, that could be the bottom for altcoins. And I believe that's going to be the bottom for altcoins because they've corrected like crazy, like 90% already. So I think we're going to have a repeat of that. While altcoins are about to bottom now in this current capitulation, it's only for Bitcoin, it's only the start of BTC capitulation, and it's still halfway. It still has halfway to go down here. Guys, I think I'll leave it here. That was all for this week's update. I'm going to be doing technical analysis on the total market cap chart tomorrow. all time frames for Bitcoin and altcoins. This video is not gonna go on YouTube because I upload on YouTube only on Wednesdays, but as usual it's gonna be going on my website. So that's all, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.